We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Terence Crawford apparently looked like he had a meeting with Golden Boy. What does this mean? Is Terence Crawford actually going to be working with Golden Boy? So many questions. Let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Ego Stradamus, the greatest to ever do it, is back. Now, Terence Crawford was pictured with Bernard Hopkins and Oscar, I do believe, De La Hoya. This was a couple days ago. Actually, I think it was Saturday because it was the day of the Anthony Yarde fight. So over the weekend, he was pictured in the Golden Boy offices. I said, Bud Crawford went in them offices. He's like officers, right? He's in the Golden Boy headquarters. You can see the belts behind and, you know, memorabilia, however they have the office decorated. And De La Hoya got a smirk. And Bernard Hopkins and Crawford kind of do too. Golden Boy on their verified page posted it and put an eye, like looking emoji. And it says, big things brewing, hashtag stay tuned. Now, Bernard Hopkins went on there was a DAZN show with ALEXIS Rocha. And he basically hinted that Golden Boy is trying to work with Terence Crawford. Oscar De La Hoya that day also did some interviews. And he says he would like to work with Crawford on a schedule of fights. And the first fight he could see is ALEXIS Rocha versus Terence Crawford. I mean, I don't even know what y'all want me to do with that. That's not a fight that I'm really like hyped for. You know, no disrespect to either fighter, but Terence Crawford is 35 years old. And, you know, some people can say, oh, but it's a ranking. Oh, mandatory. People always bring up mandatories in the world of boxing when it's convenient. I am a consumer. I don't give a about belts and sanctioning bodies and mandatories and purgatories. I don't care about none of that. I care about what I'm going to spend my red cent on. And I've been wanting to see certain fights with Terence Crawford. And guess what? ALEXIS Rocha is not on that list. You know, no disrespect to the guy. I have seen him fight before. He had a vicious knockout. But I don't want to get too sidetracked. Great knockout over the weekend. He knocked out some dude. But my thing is this. My knockout, Boxingego, my knockout of the year will never be a fight where some guy has somewhat of a name and then he's fighting someone who's 38 years old that I never really heard of, and he doesn't have a winning or a great record and he gets brutally knocked out. Because like it's like, look at other sports. You got, my Niners were eliminated, but you have the playoffs and we got beat by the better team, which was Philly Eagles. Right? We also had, like, you know, Brock get hurt. Purdy got hurt with the UCL injury. But that's how the game goes. But the point I'm making is these are the highest seeds that made it the furthest in the season. And then now we're going to see the Eagles and KC Chiefs go at it because they have proven to be the two best remaining teams. And now that's going to be the Super Bowl. If only boxing worked like this, where you could actually see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, you know, without the politics, the guy that a lot of people consider 1A and 1B at welterweight, right? Not ALEXIS Rocha. So for Crawford, if he does decide to sign with Golden Boy, man, oh man, I can't wait because I'm a full-time content creator. I've said the same thing. I kept it real. I have no axe to grind with Terence Crawford. He's a grown man. He could do whatever he wants. But I am entitled to my opinion, and my opinion has proven time and time to be sound. You know, I don't personally understand decisions like this if Crawford does decide to sign with Golden Boy. Now, nothing has actually been on paper. It's just been a lot of innuendos and a lot of signaling and hinting, like Golden Boy saying, hey, big things are brewing and all that type of stuff. But at the same time is he's in the office. He has a fresh haircut, and then they keep saying big things brewing and we want to work with Crawford, and there's smirks on the faces and big things coming and just you wait. And De La Hoya is even doing interviews talking about he wants to max ALEXIS Rocha, who is within the WBO, and Crawford is with the WBO. I mean, it's just not a good fight. And like, see, this is the thing where I keep getting proven right by Terence Crawford. If he does decide to move, I don't care about who's ranked and all that type of stuff. I want to see Terence Crawford, a brilliant fighter, fight other people that I think are brilliant fighters that I'm willing to pay for. It's that simple. I'm the consumer. It only works my way. There is no other opinion. There's no one else that can say, I'm the consumer, so I decide where my dollar gets spent. To each his own. If you love Crawford versus Alexis Rocha, you buy the pay-per-view or whatever the fight's on. You buy that. But to me, I'm not really hyped for that fight. I have seen Alexis Rocha. Again, I'm not giving a bunch of credit because he knocked out some 38-year-old guy I've never heard of. Again, my knockout of the year is never going to be a fight between two people and I only know one of them. You know, to me, a knockout of the year, even if it's not as emphatic, I would rather put like a Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano because he knocked out a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone never been knocked out as a pro. So, and it was for all the marbles for Undisputed. So for me, that's how I base knockout of the year. I'm not giving no knockout of the year to, you know, some fight where I don't really think that this is the best versus the best. Or, you know, even like Erickson Lubin versus Sebastian Fundora, where it's like, these are ranked guys. These are both ranked guys. I know both of them, follow both of their careers and stuff. So those are all great emphatic knockouts. Not knocking out some guy I've never heard of because Golden Boy scrounged up somebody and then saying, oh, he's ripe and ready and dangerous for Crawford. That's not my steez, and it never will be. You know, Crawford's a great fighter. Alexis Rocha, you know, he didn't knock out Rashidi Ellis, who just recently lost. So Rashidi Ellis, close fight, but he fought the Villa dude and he lost. Rocha couldn't do that. He knocked out Blair Cobbs, but I never really rated Blair Cobbs high like that either. You know what I mean? So the best name, as far as I'm concerned, on Alexis Rocha's resume, he lost to. He fought the best person that I can think of that he fought, Rashidi Ellis. He lost to him and he lost bad. Like, I'm talking about almost every round, if not every round type of deal. So to say he's ready for Crawford and things like that, that's crazy. The other thing is this, is the WBO had Jerron Boots Ennis ranked and Virgil Ortiz. I get Virgil Ortiz is going to fight Stanionis and he's going a different route. But why is what happened to Boots? You know, how did Alexis Rocha not fight Boots? And then somehow Alexis Rocha is the highest ranked person in the WBO. Now, moving on to Terence Crawford. Another reason why I think this is going to look bad for him if he does do a partnership with Golden Boy. I mean, there's several reasons. Let me break down a few. So for starters, Terence Crawford and his fans, the Bud Buddies, they said stuff like, oh, he's working with BLK Prime. You hating on a brother. You hating because a black man trying to get money with a black-owned promotion. So guess what? Surprise, Golden Boy is not black-owned. They have these N-word emails that everybody wanted to sweep under the rug. And what happened to all those Bud Buddies that say, oh, you hating because Crawford's getting the bag with the brother and the black-owned. So if he signs with Golden Boy, if he works with Golden Boy, then again, we have these N-word emails that were referencing Al Heyman, right? And you're going to team up with Golden Boy, who dismissed this totally. Errol Spence himself responded when Oscar De La Hoya made a play for him to sign to Golden Boy, right? And this was after the Mikey Garcia fight that I was at ringside. And Errol Spence said, I don't like the way you treat black fighters, brother, or something like that. And that was kind of, De La Hoya then deleted his tweet where he recommended Errol Spence sign to Golden Boy. Oscar De La Hoya also tried to pitch some kind of tweet to Deontay Wilder, and he tried to summon Deontay Wilder back, right? These are all facts. And I don't even think Wilder ever even responded, but he was like, yeah, Wilder signed to Golden Boy, we'll make the Joshua fight. Okay, Wilder didn't even give De La Hoya the time of day. Now, here's the kicker. Let me tie it in for you. Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder worked some fights with Golden Boy when Golden Boy was with Al Heyman and had Richard Schaefer. So how come two black fighters from America who are superstar fighters, great big names in the sport of boxing, have experience working with Golden Boy, and basically they didn't leave their situation with Al Heyman to work with Golden Boy and go back. And the only other person that stayed was Canelo, and he ended up leaving. Sanicia Estrada, she was with him, and Golden Boy, to me, they focus primarily on Latino fighters and Mexican-American fighters. That's like kind of their immediate market. So why is it a Mexican-American, Sanicia Estrada, and a guy from Guadalajara, Mexico, and Canelo leaving, and Ray Vargas leaving Oscar De La Hoya? And then the matchmaker, Roberto Diaz, he actually just started following me. Shout out to him. But he just didn't renew for whatever reason with Golden Boy. So this is the timing in which Terence Crawford said, hey, me as a dark-skinned black guy, this is a great time for me to sign with Golden Boy. It seems a bit weird, especially when like the main star that Golden Boy has right now is Ryan Garcia. And if he fights Tank Davis, there is a chance that he could lose that fight. And then Golden Boy will really have not really many big branded names. So it's a weird move to me if Crawford does team up with Golden Boy, right? I can give you several other examples of why it would be weird for me. Ego said it, right? Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Bud Crawford also gloated and said, Errol Spence, oh, he's not his own boss. See, I'm my own boss. Me and BOK Prime, we sit at the table, and I sit at the table with the bosses and make the decisions and go over the contracts. And he wanted transparency with the Errol Spence situation and all these boss-like things, right? Why would you sign with a promoter? If you are your own boss and you are self-sufficient, why would you sign? So again, I'm not saying he has. I will wait until whatever happens next for Crawford, whatever is announced is announced. But if he does, just know that show Mr. Postman, because I'm making several other videos and I'm going to be like, I told you, and explain in detail and go. I'm about to go off. Just prepare for that. I'm about to go off because again, you can't on one hand say, oh, I'm my own boss, I make all the moves. And then when Boxingego is making videos, people say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You hating on Crawford. And Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, PBC, Steven Espinosa, everybody and me, we all said that Crawford needs representation. He needs representation to try to make a big fight with Errol Spence. How are you going to need transparency to approve and deny expenses and you've never done a broadcast? You don't even have a successful promotion, right? You've never had your imprint on any of your top ranked fights. So you don't really have the credentials for that. And you're trying to run the show and be able to approve, deny expenses. That's another question. So many questions Crawford leaves. Is Golden Boy going to give Terence Crawford all of this access that he needed from a black advisor, Al Heyman, that he wanted from Mexican-American Steven Espinosa? Are they going to open the books and allow him to, or is he just going to, if he does work with him, let Golden Boy and Oscar and BHOP or whoever else run the show, Eric Gomez and stuff, run the show? So again, if you really wanted the Errol Spence, this is going to look bad, because if you really wanted the Errol Spence fight, how come you have a Jewish promoter, Bob Arum, you're with him 10, 11 years, and you let him run the show because it's his company, Top Rank, and you trust him, and he throws you under the bus at the tail end of your career and says, oh, I can't make no money with this guy. Who cares? Who needs him, right? And then you have De La Hoya, and I'm not even here to badmouth. You know De La Hoya, the pictures and, his own like admissions on his personal life, and he's being sued and, the various things. Just Google it, right? And this is who Crawford decides like, yo, this is who I trust with my career at this space of the game. Is a bit weird. You know what I'm saying? And again, are they giving you transparency? So why would you only need transparency from Showtime and Al Heyman, but then trust Golden Boy to get it done? Because I see it. De La Hoya saying stuff like, oh, we could get the Errol Spence fight. I mean, these are the weirdest decisions that I've seen in modern boxing. We'll put it that way. If he does do this will be yet another one, because how are you going to entrust De La Hoya because I can understand they probably sold it to you like, oh, we did the Tank Davis fight and Ryan Garcia fight. That's a big fight. People are growing tired of Errol Spence and Crawford. I'm not saying no one wants to see it, but at the same time, people are tired of bickering and some people are over it. So Ryan Garcia and Tank is probably a bigger fight. And I wouldn't even say probably, I would say it is a bigger fight. So at the end of the day, we can't even compare those two circumstances because you have a fresh fight with guys who are under 30 years old in Tank and Ryan versus two guys who are over 30, and people are growing tired because some of the moves Crawford's making, and we haven't thus far got Spence versus Crawford. I'll talk about this in more detail. Subscribe to the channel. I'm the best that's ever lived in boxing, covering this sport. And I can't wait to see what Crawford decides. Hopefully his next move is the best move. And I'm out. We unpacked. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.